And joining us now is Peter Navarro, a former White House aide advisor. Mr. Navarro, good morning.
Good to be with you here this morning with NewsNation, sir.
Peter, one of the things we've commented on in the last couple of weeks, Mr. Trump has had two different press conferences, and they do seem to be a bit scattered. Why do you believe the former president needs a course correction in this campaign, and what would you like to see?
Well, the clip you showed, he was going over the prices of all the things that have gone up in this economy. I think this is an issue-based race to win. If you look at the key issues that are so-called salient to voters that will move swing voters, Donald Trump beats the Harris-Walz ticket on everything. If you start at the top, economy and inflation, he's got double-digit leads, prefer Trump to Harris. If you look at the border chaos, same thing. If you look at crime in the streets, same thing. So my suggestion here has been, in terms of the Trump Rally 2.0, is to simply use their own words. In other words, you show Kamala Harris saying, I oppose fracking, and then you explain how when you restrict the production of oil here, world prices go up. That creates inflation at home around the kitchen table. I mean, the reality is that Kamala Harris, you've seen that sign in the stores. You break it, you bought it, right? That's Kamala Harris's problem. She's broken the economy. And I'll tell you, she is directly responsible for the inflation because she was the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. The vice president is the president pro tem of the Senate, and a tie, she votes and breaks the tie. She voted for the two biggest budget-busting bills that are now rippling through the economy and causing inflation. She'll just use her own words. She supports Bidenomics. She thinks inflation is licked, and then just show people who are suffering every day. They can't.
And struggling to make ends meet. And Mr. Navarro,
in Trump's America, you didn't have to choose between food on the table, medicine in the cabinet, school books for your kids, or a roof over your head. You have to do that now. And by the way, I saw the clip where she's going to come out with a housing proposal. Yeah. The reason why housing costs are over the moon is because interest rates are high. The reason why interest rates are high is because inflation's high. And the reason why inflation's high is because of Kamala Harris.
And we know that also housing is really more of a state and local issue. Now, the former president on Thursday saying this when asked about Republicans urging him to focus on the issues.
I think I'm entitled to personal attacks. I don't have a lot of respect for her. I don't have a lot of respect for her intelligence. She certainly attacks me personally. She actually called me weird. He's weird. It was just a soundbite. And she called JD and I weird.
So, Peter, is he entitled to get personal when Vice President Harris goes after him? You know what it's like for working for Mr. Trump. How willing is he to listen to advice? So how does this usually go?
I love his instincts. You ought to let him trust his instincts. I think it's fair game when Kamala Harris, for example, runs an ad that suddenly says she's tough on the border when that's a 180-degree position from what she's adopted. She wants to decriminalize illegal immigration. Start with that. She was supposed to be the border czar. So that kind of flip-flop goes away from policy and brings in character. And I think character in this case is going to be fair game for personal attacks in terms of character attacks. Walz has a problem with stolen valor. What Kamala Harris is quickly doing is having a character problem with flip-flopping. And by the way, that press conference that you showed earlier in the segment, it was like happy talk, and your anchor was like, oh, yeah. What should have been said there, frankly, is like, hey, why won't those two meet the press? Meet the press, not each other. That was embarrassing. But policy, really, I mean, you have to ask yourself, people watching this, whose America do you want to live in? In Trump's America, you were safe and the borders were secure. In Trump's America, there wasn't any kind of inflation. Here we've got double-digit inflation. People can't afford to live.
Peter, I'd be remiss if I did not ask you this before I let you go. Your personal relationship with the former president. Have you spoken with him? And would you work with Mr. Trump again?
I never reveal anything about talking with the president. I have no plans to work in a future administration. That's toxic.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.